Hello pals, welcome to another tutorial. So in today's tutorial we are going to be making a 6 pieces dress. So I'm going to be teaching you how to go about the cutting and stitching process of this 6 pieces dress, and also how to cut a 10 pieces dress. So if this is what you're interested in, you want to continue watching this video, click on the like button, subscribe to this channel, and let's get started. So we are going to be starting with the drafting of the front part first. So this is going to be the starting line, and what you are going to do is to place your tape at the starting line and then mark your bust point, your under bust, your half length, and then your gown length. So the gown length is 42, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this out. So I'm going to be marking what I marked here on both sides also, so that I can get a straight line. So after doing this, I'm going to be drawing a straight line across each of these points. So this is the bust point, the under bust, the waistline, and this is the gown length. So I'm going to label this under bust, then the gown length, then this is going to be the shoulder line. So what we're going to be doing now is to come to this starting line, and then you are going to be taking your neck measurement. So I'm using 3.5 by 5 inches, so I'm coming down by 5 inches and 3.5 on this side. So now I'm going to use my curve and connect it like this. So after doing this, then you are going to be taking your shoulder measurements. So divide your shoulder measurement into 2, and then you are going to mark it out this way. Then at this point, come down by 1 inch and then connect it towards the neckline like this. Next thing you are going to get is your armhole length. So to get this, divide your bust measurement into 6, and then you add 1.5 to it. So after getting that, go ahead and mark it. Then you are going to be drawing a straight line across this point, and this line is going to be your chest line. Now you are going to connect from this shoulder slope to this chest line, and this length is your armhole depth. So label this as your chest line, then find the middle of your armhole length. So now mark the middle, and at that middle point you are going to be going in by 1/2 inch. Then on your chest line you are going to divide your bust measurement into 4, and then you are going to be marking it out. Now take your curve, and then you are going to connect these 3 points together. So after doing that, next thing you want to do is to place your dart. So on your bust point line, you are going to use half of your nipple to nipple measurement for your dart. So I'm going to mark that on my bust point at the under bust waistline, and I'm also going to be marking it at the hemline also, that is the gown length line, because we are going to be taking this dart all the way to that point. So now you are going to connect this in a straight line all the way down. So now come back to your under bust line, and then at this point you are going to take 1/2 inch here, and the other side you are going to be taking 1.5. Now you are going to connect it towards your bust point, but you are going to come down by 1 inch, and you are going to be stopping at that 1 inch. So connect from your under bust to that 1 inch, and then this second side use your curve and then connect it to the 1 inch also. Now you are going to be extending this downward to the waistline and also to the hemline. So I'm going to connect it straight down my ruler like this, and then I'm going to be doing that to my hemline also. So as to get a straight line, I'm going to mark it somewhere here in the middle, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect it together. So don't mind the fact that my pencil is not showing very well, but if you should follow what I'm saying, you are going to get it very well. So this is going to be a princess dart, a bustier dress. So I'm going to use my curve, place it on my bust point, and then connect the middle of the armhole. Now you are going to come down at that middle by 1 inch like this, and this 1 inch you are going to be using your curve to connect it to your bust point like this again. Now this 1 inch we are going to be cutting it out, so you have to replace it back. So the one at the lower part is where you are going to be extending by 1 inch. Now mark this with your ruler. So this 1 inch, now you are going to be redrawing your armhole like this, just exactly the way I did it. Now we are going to be taking the side measurement. So we already took the bust measurements on the chest line. So at the under bust line, we are going to divide the under bust measurement into 4. So divide this into 4, mark it, and then you are going to measure this dart allowance, and you are going to be placing it back. Then you are going to go to your waistline, also divide your waist measurement into 4, mark what you have there, and now you are going to also mark the dart allowance, and you are going to be placing it back. So the dart allowance is 2 inches. You are going to place it back like this. So now we need your shoulder to hip measurement. So we did not put the hip line here. So now we are going to be starting the hip line. So the shoulder to hip measurement is 26 inches. So I'm just going to mark it here, and then I'm going to draw a straight line across it, and this will be the hip line. So on this hip line now, I'm going to be taking the hip measurement. So now on this hip line, divide your hip measurement into 4. So after doing that, mark what you get. Then you are going to measure your dart allowance, and then you are going to place it back. So what you have exactly on your hip line is what you are going to measure, what you are going to be marking on your hem line. So now connect this like this, then turn your curve this way to shape your hip line, and then from the hip line, mark it straight down. So I'm going to label it center front and side front. Now you can go ahead and cut it out. After this, we are going to be drafting our back part. So this is the starting line, and this is the zipper allowance. So we have 1 inch there for the zipper allowance. So now place your tape at the starting line and measure your half length. Then after your half length, you are going to be measuring your shoulder to hip measurement. After measuring this, you are going to be marking your gown length line. So I'm marking it on this side so that I can get a straight line. So now go ahead and mark your gown length. So the gown length is 42. Then you're going to mark it out like this. And now you're going to be drawing a straight line across each of these points. The waistline, the hip line, and also the hem line. Now you come to the starting line here, the shoulder line. Now mark your neckline. So we use 3.5 for the front part. So you're going to use the same. And then you will come down by 1 inch. So now I'm going to be connecting this with my curve. So place your curve like this, and then connect it together, and then you are going to be extending it into the zipper allowance. Now from this point, take your shoulder measurement, divide your shoulder measurement into 2, and then you mark it out. Now come down by 1 inch, and then connect this line towards your neckline. So from this slope now, you are going to get your armhole length. So the same thing you use for the front, use exactly the same. Now mark a line across this, and this is your chest line. So label it as your chest line. Now connect from the slope to the chest line, and this is your armhole length. Now locate the middle of it, and at the middle you are going to be going in by 1/4 of an inch. So now you are going to take your curve on your shoulder or your chest line, divide your bust measurement into 4, and then mark it out. So now take your curve and then connect your armhole like this. So the next thing you are going to do now is to place your dart, and this time you are going to be placing it on the waistline. So use half of your nipple to nipple measurement on your waistline, and then you are going to be taking half of an inch on both sides. But for me, I like to add half inch to half of my nipple to nipple measurement, because I'm going to be taking some allowance for the zipper bulge, and by the time I take that out, it's going to look small. So I like to add half inch to that. So instead of 3.5, I'm going to be adding 4 inches. So I'm going to mark that on the chest line, the waistline, hip line, and also the hem line, and then I'm going to connect it in a straight line, just like you see me do. Now on the waistline, take half of an inch on both sides for the allowance, for the dart allowance. Now connect it towards your hip line like this, and then connect it towards the chest line also. But for the chest line, you are going to come down by 1 inch. So now connect from your waistline towards that 1 inch on both sides like this. So for the back part, is going to be a princess dart also. So now connect with your curve like this from the chest line to the middle of your armhole. Now you already take your bust measurement here. So come to your waistline, divide your waist measurement into 4, mark what that gives you. Now measure your dart intake and then place it back. So next, come to your hip line, divide your hip measurement into 4, mark it, then mark exactly the same on your hem line. So now take your curve and then connect from your bust to your waistline, and then from the waist to the hip like this. Then use a straight ruler to connect from the hip to the hem line. Now on this waistline, at the zipper allowance, you are going to be taking in half of an inch like this for the zipper to take out the zipper bulge. So connect it upward like this and also connect downward just like that. And now you can go ahead and cut it. So this is the center back and this is the side back. So I'm going to be using this side back to demonstrate how to cut a 10 pieces dress, because I'm going to be making a 6 pieces dress. So I'm going to show you how to make a 10 pieces. So if you are making a 10 pieces, you are going to leave the center back as it is. You're not going to do anything to it, but this side back is what you are going to be dividing into 2. So on each of the line, you are going to locate the middle. You are going to divide each line into 2. So on the chest line, you are going to divide it into 2, the waistline, the hip line, and also the hem line. So you are going to locate the middle. So when you divide it into 2, you are going to connect it together, and so that means the side back, you are going to be dividing it into 2. So instead of having 2 pieces like this, you are going to be having 3 pieces. And remember that we are cutting this just one side, so that means we are going to be having 5 pieces in total, because the what we have on this side, we are going to be cutting 2 of them to make up for the right side and the left side. I hope you get what I'm saying. So now just connect it like this. After getting the middle, connect it all the way to the hem line. Just draw a straight line across it, like connect it to the hem line, and also this upper part, just connect it like this with your curve to the middle like this. So just connect it like this. So that means if you are doing 10 pieces, you are going to be cutting this out. So I will not be cutting it out because I'm going to be sewing a 6 pieces. So I'm just using this to demonstrate. And that means you are going to be doing the same thing also for the side front. So this is what it's going to look like when you are cutting a 10 pieces. But I'm making a 6 pieces, so I'm going to leave it as 2 pieces like this. I'm not going to cut it into 3. I hope you understand. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using for this dress. So I have 3 yards here, and that is why I cannot make 10 pieces. So I'm just going to be using these 3 yards for the 6 pieces. So what you are going to do is to cut the center front first. So you are going to fold the fabric into 2, and as you can see, the center front, you are going to be cutting it on fold. I'm not making a zipper for the front part, so you are going to be cutting it on fold. So you are going to fold the fabric into 2 and make sure that you have about 5 inches extra on this side at the hem area. So what I'm doing is to mark half of an inch all the way to the waistline here, and when I get to the waistline, I'm going to stop, and then from the waistline now, I'm going to connect to the hem line in a triangle manner. So that's 5 inches that I pull out on the hem line in a triangle manner. And so this is how I'm going to be cutting each piece of this pattern. So you can see the way I'm placing my ruler. It's going to be in a triangle form like this. So that's the essence of adding the 5 inches extra on this side. So what I'm going to do now is to add about half of an inch at this lower part for my seam allowance, and now I'm going to be cutting this out. So on the shoulder area, I'm going to be adding half of an inch for the shoulder, at the shoulder top also, for the stitching allowance. and then I'm going to connect it together like this. Then I'm going to be cutting it out. So this is the side front. So what you're going to do this one is you are going to make sure that you have 5 inches on both sides. You can see that we are not going to be cutting this one on fold. So on each side you are going to make sure that you have about 5 inches extra at the hem areas, at the hem line, the hem part. So it's going to be 5 inches on both sides. So I'm going to be marking half of an inch to the waistline, and when I get to the waistline I'm going to connect that 5 inches. So just mark half of an inch up to this point, and when I get to the waistline I will stop, and then I'm going to connect from that waistline now to that 5 to this 5 inches, to the 5 inches that I left at this side. And I'm going to also do the same thing to the second side and also to the back side also. So for this second side we are going to be adding our seam allowance. So at this upper part I'm going to be adding 2 inches here up to the waistline. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches there for the seam allowance, and then from this waistline now I'm going to connect to the 5 inches that I left at this side there. I hope you get what I'm saying. So just do exactly the same and you are going to get it. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So this is the center back. I added half inch here, and I also added half inch to the waistline, this inner part, and then I connect it to the 5 inches. And I've also gone ahead to cut the lining. So this is the side back. I added half inch to this inner part, to the waistline, then connect to the 5 inches, and on the side here I added 2 inches for the same allowance, and I connect to the 5 inches. So if you are making 10 pieces, so these pieces now you are going to cut it into 2, and you are going to be adding 5 inches on both sides to each of the piece. I hope you get what I'm saying. So each of them is going to have 5 inches on this side, and the one that is for the side is what is going to have 2 inches allowance for the seam. So this is the center front. Now I'm going to be notching the under bust area because we are going to be padding it. This is a bustier dress. So now what I'm going to do to each of the lining pieces, I'm going to be trimming off a little, about 1/4 of an inch. So I've gone ahead to pad this. So what I did is from the shoulder I come down to 6 inches before I cut the pad, and I stopped at the under bust. So now what I'm going to do is to just cut this, give it a shape at the side like this. So now we are going to be stitching it on both sides. We are going to be stitching this. So we are going to start the stitch from the lower part up to the under bust part. So we are going to make sure that the under bust are aligned, and then we are going to be sewing the rest up to the armhole. So I'm done doing that, and I've also opened up my seam to iron it. Now I'm going to be placing the lining on it, and then I'm going to be joining the neck area together. After joining, I'm going to open it up to top stitch on it. Then I'm going to be joining the lower part. So I'll make sure that the joining on the lining aligns with where we have joining on the dress, and then I'm going to be joining this side, and I'll be turning it out from the armhole. So let's go ahead and stitch the neck first. So this is the back side. I've joined the center back to the side back. So I'm going to join the neck area, the hem area, the lower part, and then I'm going to join this side also. So I've done that to both sides, and this is it. So now we are going to be closing the zipper area. So we used 1 inch for the zipper area earlier. So I'm going to make sure to pin about 1 inch. So I'm going to mark 1 inch at the zipper area, and I'm going to pin it all the way. So I'm going to measure where I want my zipper to stop. So I want it to stop about 21 inches. So that is where I'm going to mark. And now I'm going to be stitching the lower part all the way down like this, and then this upper part you are going to be fixing the zipper there. So now this is it. I'm done fixing the zipper. So now I'm going to be joining the shoulders of the front to that of the back. So I'm going to hold this like this and flip the lining of the back, one of the lining of the back around it, and then join. So I'm done doing that, and I've also top stitch on the armhole. Now we are going to be shaping our dress. So I've pinned it on both sides all together, and I'm going to start shaping from the bust area. So now you are going to divide your bust measurement into two. So after dividing this into two, you are going to mark what you have like this, then measure what is left, then divide that into two and mark it on both sides. Then at the underbust part also, you are going to divide your underbust measurement into two, then mark what you have, measure what is left. Now this what you have left, divide it into two like this, then what you have, measure it on both sides. So you're going to be taking that on both sides just like this. Now measure what you have left, just to be sure that you have the accurate measurement. Now for your waistline, you are going to measure your half length from your shoulder to get your perfect to your exact waistline. So now that waistline, now when you measure for your half length, divide your waist measurement into two, then measure what you have left. Now divide that into two and mark it on both sides. Now you are going to be taking your curve to connect from your bust part to your underbust, and underbust to your waist. And now you are going to be connecting in an A manner. So you see the way I measure this, like in a triangle form, to the side, to the M area. So you are going to be stitching this on both sides now, and after you are done, you are going to be fixing the sleeve. So this is the outcome of our 6 pieces dress. So I'm going to, if you want me to upload the video for this sleeve, you can tell me in the comment section and I'm going to upload it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give your comment, and I'll see you in my next. Bye.